Hello, everybody, and welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show. I'm Skip Elsheimer, and my assistant and I had to move the couch. So I wasn't sure how long it was going to take, so I let a longer film that I had scanned. It was actually 2 cans of film spliced together. This was from the Coronet collection of some stock footage that they shot or they had shot or they bought that obviously early 20th century, late 19th century footage and some panning, some Ken Burns effect on some photos. So yeah, interesting stuff. Very little context of what was going on there, but interesting nonetheless. A couple of days ago, somebody wanted to know if I had any bowling footage, and yeah, here we go. The golden years. Enjoy.
Introducing the American way of life on the threshold of the golden 60s. Color, style, comfort, utility, and convenience. Recreation, fun. These are the ultimate desires of today, tomorrow, and the years ahead of us. Much sought-after features in our everyday surroundings that are relaxing, refreshing, and stimulating. And these are the very same features that Brunswick is building into the new dynamic recreation centers, where bowling and wholesome fun are the prime attraction. Here, for an era of increased leisure, is a new concept in color and custom coordinated equipment created by Brunswick designers and engineers. But whatever the creative concept, quality has always been a prime consideration. Time-tested Brunswick quality from the hand-selected, carefully dried bed stock that goes into the construction of these lanes to every piece of material that goes into the building of every piece of Brunswick equipment. Every item is quality created by engineers and design specialists whose never-ending search for quality has not only been the key to increased profits for bowling proprietors, but has also increased the pleasure of bowling for men and women of all ages in all walks of life. Here for today, tomorrow, and the years to come is Brunswick's concept of custom design, introducing a colorful new world to bowlers, set off with convenience, with comfort, with style, with color, and always with it all, Brunswick's high standard of quality. Here is Brunswick's striking new Gold Crown line. Designer colors that provide architect, decorator, and owner with an opportunity to coordinate color and equipment, and thus create a custom-designed atmosphere to suit individual tastes and needs. 6 basic Brunswick colors have been created to provide the proper atmosphere for recreation. And 3 graduated shades of each color produce the illusion of one monochromatic color, taking advantage of variations in distance and lighting. Here is the warmth of coral, the richness of gold, the quiet relaxation of green, the calm coolness of blue, the crisp, contemporary look of classic white, and the pleasure-packed attractiveness of tangerine. These 6 coordinated colors are Brunswick's unique and distinctive contribution to bowling, developed after intensive research and investigation of color preference. Their balanced values allow the architect and decorator to create any atmosphere desired. It is possible to use the colors singly or in any number of combinations, depending upon the selection of equipment and the decorative scheme that is desired. But regardless of choice, all of the colors complement the light, sculptured look of Brunswick's fabulous new Gold Crown line of bowling equipment and trim, functional seating. Here is the bright, light atmosphere of refreshing recreation. Here is comfort, the Brunswick fiberglass bowler seating, constructed to fit natural body contours. All seating arrangements are now provided with backs. Maximum comfort even for scoring. The correct height, the correct writing angle, the correct working surface, a larger area with a durable, easy-to-clean melamine top, harmonizing with each of the new Brunswick colors. The improved exclusive Brunswick Telescore is unmatched in the field. Brilliant, crisp projection. And the auxiliary light for open play score sheets is another first that Brunswick brings to bowling. Also, the new simplified optical system is easy to operate, easy to clean, and remarkably easy to maintain. Overall design simplicity brings not only a smartness of line, but also an unobstructed approach to the ball return. And Brunswick's exclusive Subway Cluster Return is another great time saver that keeps the game moving. For here, each player's ball waits at the same convenient spot every time. The stainless steel tray has a 12-ball capacity to accommodate league competition. But these adjustable ball stops conveniently adapt the cluster for a reduced number of players. Here is time-saving convenience in keeping with the design harmony that adds fun to the game and potentially greater profits to the proprietor. But design harmony doesn't always include the players, and trip-ups at the foul line are electronically detected and signaled by the telefoul, a unit now completely self-contained with buzzer and light at the foul line where they belong. Nothing to distract other bowlers, no excess wiring to the pits, allowing more trouble-free operation, labor-saving installation, and minimum maintenance. And with the Subway return, the enclosure gracefully delineates the path of the ball. And the exclusive new Power Lift not only eliminates the possibility of trapped balls beneath the surface, but also delivers the ball quietly and safely at virtually zero velocity. Where the Subway in-line ball return section is preferred or required, Brunswick offers a beautifully designed unit fully coordinated with the custom Gold Crown line. Again, Brunswick's revolutionary positive power lift is employed to provide long, efficient service. Only a Subway in-line unit can provide the approach division favored by many bowlers and still provide 4.5 feet of open approach for unobstructed follow-through. There is also the newly designed surface in-line return, popular with many bowlers and proprietors. Sleek, elegant, it has that Brunswick stamp of quality from stem to stern, with hand dryer built in at terminal end. Nothing to slow the play, nothing to interrupt the fun. As for the new single-lane pin setter masks that set the color and design theme, here is sculptured classic beauty. The perfect screen between the bowler and the pit. Here is precise lane definition with neither monotony nor distracting detail. Suitable for larger installations, another Brunswick first, the uniquely designed custom twin lane masking unit that separates lanes in pairs. But double or single, these masking units provide a correctly lighted target area. Nothing to distract from the serious bowler's game, nor from the fun of chalking up a strike. And with the quality-produced, reliable Brunswick automatic pin setter in action, there's never a hitch from frame to frame. For finer bowling, maximum profit, the Brunswick automatic pin setter gives smoother, quieter, more dependable and accurate pin setting. Amazing for its simplicity of design and construction, for the reliability of its operation, the Brunswick automatic is the heart of the Gold Crown custom-equipped lanes. Only the Brunswick automatic embodies complete mechanical direction of the entire pin setting function with these exclusive features. Gentle rocking action of the pit conveyor moves the ball and the pins from the pit to the ball and pin elevator. The Brunswick automatic is the only pin setter with an individual ball elevator for each machine. Faster ball return is guaranteed, providing increased lineage. Here is the pin elevator quickly removing pins from the pit, preventing excess joggling and wear. Brunswick's exclusive pin turret ensures immediate spotting of 10 new pins following each strike or second ball. The magic brain guides the Brunswick automatic pin setter. Through simple mechanical operation, it respots standing pins or sets 10 new ones. And the exclusive Brunswick scissor deck operation provides wider pin spotting range than any other pin setting machine. Never a pin off the exact spot. All of these exclusive Brunswick features are powered by a single 1 horsepower electric motor for added economy, defect-free operation, maximum profit, and more enjoyable bowling. Yes, Brunswick is automatically the world's finest pin setter. Every element of the remarkable Gold Crown line is engineered for maximum enjoyment of the game, as well as maximum profit for the proprietor of the modern recreation center. And as important as the profit-making potential is to the proprietor, Brunswick offers him the additional exclusive opportunity of custom selection. With architect and decorator, the proprietor can now build a bowling center, custom tailored to suit his individual tastes and desires. And this same Brunswick customized coordination of color and styling extends even beyond the playing area. For instance, the completely restyled Brunswick automatic ball cleaning and polishing machine provides a necessary service for bowler and source of profit to proprietor. Designed to fit flush against walls or in corners, the machine occupies a minimum of space and is built for years of trouble-free life. Customer-style locker rooms feature color, roominess, and convenience. There's a choice between the standard 2-bowler ball and shoe lockers and Brunswick's convenient new 2-bowler wardrobe lockers. Both are made of rugged steel, durable but lightweight, with cast aluminum doors. Sections of small lockers and large lockers may be combined with door colors in classic white, alternated with any of the other 5 custom colors. For shoe-changing convenience in the locker room, Brunswick provides comfortable, custom-style locker benches of durable, easy-to-clean fiberglass with chrome-plated steel legs. And each bench features plenty of room for holding bowling balls. Everywhere in the modern recreation center is the ideal combination of pleasing atmosphere and functional utility. Everywhere is the feeling of fun and recreation. And Brunswick's incomparable Gold Crown line provides all the features for maintaining that light, bright, fun-loving spirit of the game. With the choice of 6 inspired colors and a coordinated selection of equipment, Brunswick makes it possible to create personalized, distinctive bowling centers such as these. Now, for the first time, each proprietor has the unique opportunity to custom design his own recreation center. For now, for the first time, he has the choice of single or twin lane masking units, the surface in line, the subway in line, or the cluster ball returns, bowler and spectator seating in an unlimited variety of arrangements, and other Brunswick exclusive features, all color coordinated. It is this personal, custom-tailored touch of distinction that will lure and hold an increasing number of bowlers today and in the promising years ahead. And it is Brunswick's promise to continue to provide new highs in pleasure for the bowlers and new highs in profits for the proprietors. A Brunswick quality-created combination that will make the bowling 60s a golden reality.
Wow, that film is so great because it's made for people that own bowling alleys or are thinking about opening a bowling alley and showing all this beautiful new equipment. There's something, it could be from my childhood. We didn't go bowling a lot, but we would go bowling. And there's something from my childhood that makes the hairs in the back of my neck stick up when I see this color-coded, everything is, you know, meshes and matches as far as the bowling equipment itself and the chairs and everything is just it's really quite something to see. The last time I went bowling was I went to Patterson Lanes in Baltimore, Maryland after the Bastard Film Encounter, and we did duck pin bowling, which was its own kind of fascinating thing. Everything is scaled down. It was actually 2 stories of this duck pin bowling. Really quite fun. Balls are not as heavy. The pins are not as heavy. It's just really kind of a cool thing. So I'm not a bowler, not at all, but I get it. I totally get it. All right. I have a film set up on the telecine behind me that we have not seen. It's called Constructing Reality, a film in a film. Enjoy.
I think we're going to want to cut this section a lot tighter. These long static shots slow down the action too much. Yeah, there, that's better, but we'll want to cut away sooner. All right, this is where I want to go to the close-up. Wind that back, will you? I think if we hit the close-up, just as the red car is approaching the camera, it'll increase the sense of speed.
Right, that's good. I think that'll help a lot.
Yeah. We're making a film about a sports car race. We're also making a film about the filmmaking process itself. We want to give you some sense of how a film is constructed, of the many choices that have to be made in the script,
Right about
in
here.
the photography, Yeah, good. Let's try it. and in the final editing. And we want to give you some idea of the controls which a filmmaker exercises in the process of constructing a film. What you see here is the final step in that process, as the editor actually cuts the pieces of raw film and splices them together to form a new experience. Good, good. That's much better. Before anything else can happen, we have to decide very clearly what we want the film to express. We could, for example, decide to make a story film about a rivalry between 2 of the drivers. Or we might want to make a lyrical film, kind of symbolic statement about men and machines. The project we chose was to make a short film which captured the excitement and tension of a whole day's activity at the races. But how? If you go to the race yourself, you experience it as a series of miscellaneous details. Your attention wanders from one thing to the next, whatever catches your eye. Our job is first to select and organize those details on paper in the form of a script, then to capture the images we need on film during the photography, and finally, in the editing process, to arrange those images so that they form a coherent and exciting film. One activity we want to show in the film is the drivers suiting up before the race. This is part of the final build-up to the race itself, and it's interesting because of the interplay of feelings. The crew members and spectators are eagerly anticipating the race. The drivers are nervously preparing themselves. One way we could show the suiting up would be to simply point a camera at a particular driver and photograph the entire action for as long as it takes. It takes only a few minutes for a driver to suit up. But a few minutes on the screen seems a lot longer than a few minutes in live experience. The filmmaker is not necessarily required to construct his film in real time. We can show this same activity just as effectively in less than half the time. We establish the general surroundings and locate our particular driver the same way we did in the previous sequence. But after he has begun suiting up, we cut away to some spectators, and then back to our driver, further along in his preparations than real time would have allowed. Cutting in close-ups of some of the details and using different camera angles helps make the sequence more interesting. But we don't have to stick with any one driver. If we want, we can construct a montage using many drivers. And we can use music and sound effects to help create the mood we want. When it's time for the race, the cars move onto the track and line up. They take one lap around the track, in line, behind the pace car. Then they move slowly down the straightaway in low gear, engines roaring, watching for the green flag. Again, one way we could show this event on film is to simply point a camera at it and shoot. In this case, we've placed our camera in the pit area so that you see the start from the point of view of an average spectator. Some parts of this shot are interesting, but it doesn't convey the excitement of the whole event very well. You can barely see the green flag. There it is on the right-hand side of your screen. And if you didn't have the sound effects to cue you, it would be hard to tell just when the cars started accelerating. But the filmmaker is not locked into any one point of view. Our script called for scenes showing the start of the race from a number of different camera positions. This is what some of the other film looked like, uncut, before we began to construct our film version of the start. This is the start of the same race, photographed from a position on the starter's ramp. There's some jerkiness in this shot, which calls attention to the camera, so we're going to have to work around it when we construct our final version of the start. This scene was photographed through a telephoto lens, which makes the cars seem very closely bunched together and makes a nice effect when seen together with the sound of many car engines roaring. But we needed other views of the start. The script called for a wide-angle shot, showing the cars accelerating toward the camera, and a close-up from the side, emphasizing the speed of the cars as they streak by the spectators. Since using more than 2 cameras at one time was not possible within the limits of our budget, we photographed the starts of several other races with cars that looked similar from a distance. Here's the start of still another race from a position in the official gallery. With a shot like this, there's no way to tell one kind of race car from another, and it's exciting material which was very helpful in creating the kind of effect we wanted. Another important element of the activity at the start is the reactions of all the different people watching. What you're seeing is only part of the footage we shot for this sequence. Altogether, we shot about 12 minutes of film, from which we constructed our 1-minute film version of the start. Seeing the uncut footage, you can get a pretty good sense of the filmmaking process. This is a process which starts with the development of the script, continues as the filmmaker organizes and directs the photography, and ends with the editor actually cutting and splicing the pieces of film to construct a kind of unique reality. After we finished the start, we had to construct the race itself. Now visually, most of the racing footage is pretty exciting. But after you've seen a half a dozen different cars from various positions around the track, it all begins to look pretty much the same. In fact, even if you go to the race yourself, it begins to get boring if you don't have a particular car to root for, especially since this race actually lasted well over an hour. Our job in constructing this section of the film was to capture the excitement of the event in just a few minutes of screen time, and to build a sense of real competition between some of the cars. In filming the race, we concentrated on the red Triumph, number 9, and the blue Saab, number 42. Here's one of the key sequences of the competition between them. Let's go through that again, one scene at a time. First, we see the 2 cars from a position on the starter's ramp, then a view from the driver's perspective, and then another shot from the ramp looking in the other direction. Actually, the straightaway is quite long, and in real time, it takes the cars almost 25 seconds to drive the length of it. But by cutting these 3 scenes together, we can see the entire action in just 10 seconds. And we have a sequence that's much more exciting than a single shot 25 seconds long. Then we wanted to get our 2 cars from here, where they move into the trees after rounding turn 1, to here, where the blue car finally overtakes the red one, rounding turn 5 halfway around the track. By cutting in this brief close-up of the red Triumph, we were able to make the whole sequence flow smoothly and at the same time maintain the fast pace of this entire section of the film. The fact that the 3 shots were taken from widely different positions around the track doesn't matter, because visually they flow together well. In fact, even after this whole sequence has been analyzed, scene by scene, when you see it again in motion, it's hard to remember that it's not one continuous piece of action. Now you've seen how we constructed some of the key sections of our film. Let's take a look at the whole film and see how all of these pieces fit together.
Yeah, so, some introductory film about editing, shooting and editing, which we see applied almost every day on the films that we watch. I think I have others in that series. I need to kind of look and see what else there is. But I do have some films about making films. So, what time is it? Yeah, let's watch this. Let's learn about the new Alaska. Enjoy.
Last frontier. And yet I am America's newest frontier as well. I am the new Alaska, the 49th state. A wonderful place, if I say so myself. I am a rugged, colorful land, a land of striking contrasts. Take my Skookumchucks, for example. In narrow channels like this one, great tides flow back and forth at tremendous rates of speed. And next to these churning waters, you'll find the most peaceful coves. There are beautiful flowers to warm your heart and to match the strange beauty of the cold, cold ice in my restless glaciers. My cities are modern, growing communities, thriving centers of commerce and industry. My greatest pride is in my people, fine, hard-working Americans all. Many of them are native Alaskans with an ancestry and way of life that go way back. Her handiwork has come down through countless years. Here, too, is handicraft that had its beginning far back in time. The art of carving walrus ivory has been passed on from father to son for generations. I am a land rich in natural resources. One of my principal industries is the catching and processing of fish. My soil is very fertile in some areas. It already yields good crops and will produce more and more food as land especially suitable for farming is put to greater use. The never-ending search for oil and natural gas holds promise of additional wealth for my people, as the precious gold gets harder and harder to find. Folks say that next to being friendly and talkative, Alaskans like to fly. But all travel is not by air. I am a land strong in legend and tradition. Stories told in wood, linking today with yesterday. Here, the forest has slowly returned to reclaim the land. This brings me to the heart of my story. I am a land blessed with millions of acres of forest. These trees, the western hemlock, Sitka spruce, western red, and Alaska cedar, make up the timber stands of my 3 national forests: the North Tongass, the South Tongass, and the Chugach, located in the southeast and westward to the Kenai Peninsula. These public forests are being managed under the multiple use principle, managed for their timber, water, wildlife, and recreation values in the interest of all of my people and of all the United States. Very heavy rainfall, combined with soil just right for trees, helps to make the forests grow abundantly along my coastal areas. Most of the timber that is suitable for harvest and use is fairly close to saltwater shoreline. So the men of the Forest Service, managers of my national forests, do a great deal of traveling by boat. It is their home and office and their headquarters of operation for weeks on end. Technical crews like this one have the responsibility of surveying and mapping these public lands, an essential preliminary step in managing the national forests and in determining their greatest value and use. In this case, the men are about to make a survey of the timber for possible sale to a private logging company. The heavy rifles are standard equipment in some areas. They're not often brought into use, but are required nevertheless for protection, just in case one of my big brown bears should get unfriendly notions. Out of the work this crew does will come the all-important timber management plan. To the highest qualified bidder goes the timber specified for harvest. One of the most respected and specialized members of any logging crew is the high climber. Until this fellow does his job of topping the spar tree in the logging area and rigging it with cables and pulleys, the logs can't move from the forest to truck road or waterway. The A-frame, a portable floating rig, helps to get the logs into the water. These logs are slated for manufacture into pulp, the highest grade of sulfite, or high-alpha dissolving pulp, as it is called, in the world. Logging is carefully supervised by the Forest Service to safeguard other valuable resources of these public lands. The muskeg, the rugged terrain, the tremendous production of logs needed to satisfy hungry mills, and the operations so closely related to salt water have called for the development of new logging techniques and equipment. The ingenuity and industry of my people have been equal to every challenge. Like every other phase of a logging operation, working the logs into rafts that will stay put in rough water while they're being towed to the mill takes its own kind of special skill. All-year water transportation of logs in many sections and an average 9 to 10 months logging season offer important advantages for timber industries, small operators as well as large ones, in my southeastern area. In some places, trucks are used to get the timber out by road, but generally the logs travel the last long miles over water. The rafts are towed directly to the mill at the water's edge. The logs are carefully measured by trained timber scalers. It is on the basis of these measurements that the pulp company pays the United States for the timber. After the bark has been removed by powerful streams of water, the logs are fed into the jaws of huge grinders and reduced to chips. Then the chemical digester takes over and converts the chips into pulp fibers, which in turn are formed into sheets. These sheets of dry pulp are the final product in this mill. The Forest Service requires generally that national forest timber be processed through primary manufacture right here in the state of Alaska. This ensures that the raw timber will be used here to support my growing industrial strength. In this dry form, the sheets of pulp are most easily and economically handled and shipped to other states and other nations for conversion into paper and allied wood cellulose products. Now let's go back to the forest for the rest of the story. Good forestry practice dictates that my timber be harvested in solid blocks. If only certain trees were removed, as in the selective logging of pine and hardwoods, the trees that were left would not long remain standing. Wind and storm would fell them, because my hemlock and spruce are very dependent upon each other for mutual support as they grow together in the thick stands. Shortly after cutting, wildflowers and new trees come in, and berry bushes and similar food plants upon which deer, bear, and other wildlife thrive. Studies show that in the cut-over areas, the warm soil and good light are just what the seeds from the neighboring uncut trees require to germinate and grow. Men of research in the Forest Service team up with the forest rangers to ensure that these areas will always be productive. Proof that the forest does come back, does renew itself, can be found in areas that were logged over in the early years to supply my local needs. This stand of hemlock and spruce is second growth timber, about 100 years old, just about ready for harvest again. Since a major portion of the world's supply of salmon originates in spawning streams on my national forests, the harvesting of timber must be carried on without any harm to the streams. Continuing studies give assurance that the salmon streams are being protected. The national forests give my people timber and jobs. They contribute materially to my economy and serve in other ways too. They have many values, many uses. Always mindful of this, the Forest Service protects, manages, and develops these public forests in line with proven principles of multiple use. It is through multiple use management, for example, that timber cutting is coordinated and kept in harmony with wildlife values, and with the preservation and development of increasingly important recreational values. This is one of the more unusual outdoor pastimes, panning for gold in a national forest recreation area. Each year, more and more people come to visit me and to enjoy my scenic wonders and the beauty of my national forests. Every trail offers its own special invitation to adventure and sport, and every stream its own special challenge. least once a year, in just about every one of my coastal towns and cities, derby time is shop closing, going fishing time, rain or shine. The derby goes on for 2 or 3 days, and the competition is mighty keen. Some fish get away. In this case, a good-sized halibut. Here's a fellow who's got a right to be proud. That's a prize winner. Silver salmon and king salmon are derby favorites. Silvers run up to 20 pounds in weight. Kings up to 80 pounds. This is where they get their start in life, in the forest streams, and it's always a struggle to get back to the spawning grounds. Those that make it lay their eggs, protect them through fertilization and early development, and then they die. Many fall prey to natural enemies. The bear, in particular, considers salmon a tasty treat. My big game animals are a major attraction for National Forest visitors. Here's real sport for the photographer and in season for the hunter. The Dall sheep, only white mountain sheep in the world, find a home and food they like in the high, rugged mountains of the Chugach National Forest in the Kenai Peninsula. Yes, there's a wealth of wildlife in my national forests, and recreation and timber and water. Unlimited cascading torrents of water with a boundless potential for furthering my economic welfare. I am a land that has already produced great wealth, and yet my resources have been literally untouched. My national forest treasures alone hold tremendous promise for the many tomorrows still to come. I am the new Alaska.
It's
Definitely promotional film for Alaska tourism and locating business there. And the Air Force Orchestra and chorus probably as well. Thank you, Joseph, for the coffee. Very much appreciate that. If you felt compelled and excited by the new Alaska and you'd like to reward us with some coffee, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/avgeeks. Also, you can go to avgeeks.com and see other things that we have put online and buy DVDs, etc. And, tell the world that you like AV Geeks. One, recommend us to friends and family. Also, you can hit the like button and the subscribe buttons, etc., etc. All right. Hope you guys have a rest of your good day today. We'll be back again tomorrow, Friday, and looking forward to seeing you. Everybody take care.